Well, good morning. It's another beautiful day down in Dorset today. Absolutely glorious morning. And you might recognise where I am from the early footage. I've started my walk from Wareham. I seem to come back to here a couple of times recently. But this is a different walk. So today I am heading off across the Heathlands. So I'm going to be walking, and I haven't exactly got a route in mind. Depends how I go. But if I do the whole route, it'll be across Heathlands through to Corfe Castle, and then Heathlands again from Corfe Castle back to Wareham again. So the whole route would be kind of 12, 13, 14 miles, I think. But I might have to cut that short. I'm not sure yet. I'll see how we go. Anyway, whatever I do, promises to be a fantastic day. Lots of interesting things to see. And it's a long time since I've been here and walked across these heathlands. So I'm looking forward to this. Heathlands in the spring. And we'll see what we can see. So I hope you're going to join me. I'll tell you more as we go. So there's a number of reasons that I've decided to do this walk today, aside from the fact that I've realised I don't think I've ever filmed this, although it's one of my kind of regular walks. But it's partly the weather, because I think pretty much of England and much of Dorset I think has got a fair bit of cloud today, sunny periods I think is the way they put it. But I did notice that if you head south you get sunshine virtually all day. So I've headed south to Wareham and Corfe. So that's one reason. Second reason is it's a fairly flat walk, which I need at the moment, and I'll explain that a little more in a minute. A third reason is that it's a route I can lengthen or shorten as I feel the need. As I say, it's 13-14 miles if I do all of it, but there are ways I can cut it short, so that's another plus. And of course it is a lovely route anyway. So the reason I needed a flat walk today is that my ankle has been particularly bad recently. In fact, it's been bad all year, to be honest, compared to last year. Don't know if that means it's getting worse or whether it's just one of those things. But I've done hardly any walking in the last week at all. So this is a kind of test, really. I think the last walk I did, I think, was the Lulworth Range walks, which I videoed, and that was a particularly tough walk, very up and down, and also very rocky, because I decided, maybe foolishly, oh, there's a big bird of prey over there, can't see what it is unfortunately. Oh, let me get the other camera out. Still over there actually. I did manage to get him with the other camera with the long lens, but still can't, it's not near enough for me to be able to tell unless I put it in the computer at home. Anyway, yes, as part of my range walks I decided to go and visit the Smuggler's Cave from Mute Bay, which is a particularly rocky uneven path or beach beside the sea. I said when I was doing it, but I might be a bit foolish doing it, and since then, I have to say, I don't know if it's that, but since then my ankle has been really bad. So anyway, hence why I've had a layoff, and I need a shorter walk, or not necessarily shorter, but flatter, more even walk. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. But I'm right in the middle of Stowborough Heath, I think this is, which is of course laden with yellow gorse. I'm unlatching the gate and it's not latched. So this is the Swanage Railway line. Were there any trains? That would go to Swanage, or Corfe Castle actually, and then Swanage. And that would go to Wareham. And I don't know what's happened about that, because that line was all re-signalled, because the Swanage Railway is preserved steam railway. Which had limited run from Swanage through to Norden near Corfe Castle. But they re-signalled the line so that they could run trains right the way through to Wareham to join with the main line trains, and that did operate, because I rode the day the first train operated through to Wareham. I rode it. I did a walk out this way and got the train from Swanage back to Wareham, which was kind of cool. But nothing's happened since. I think they were refitting a loco, because the loco's got to fit certain standards in order to run on main line. So I think they were refitting a loco to use on it, but I don't know what's happened about that. I meant to check before I came out. I'll have to look it up later and see what's happening. It's an interesting area, this is. There's one or two fairly substantial houses around here, but there's no road to it. This is the road that I'm walking on. It joins obviously the road not too far away, but it's kind of remote. It must be rather a lovely place to live, I think. And this one's got a very nice pond down there. Shrubbery's grown round it now, so we can't see it properly. So we're on to the next area of heathland now. This is Creech Heath. It's surprisingly boggy, considering we haven't had rain for a long time. It's obviously a bad area anyway, because they've provided these boardwalks. That's an amazing piece of heathland. There's not a lot of it left, but at least in this area there's a few chunks of heath. In fact, you can see, it's like Wareham over there, you can see the church. Isn't this beautiful? It's very peaceful as well. What makes you think prevailing winds come from the right? Poor old tree. It's been buffeted by a few winds. Swing round, you can see Creech, the pointy hill, Creech Barrow. And of course this is Creech Heath, as we know. So I've just seen a couple of Dartford Warblers in here. They're in this bush here. Probably a pair nesting. Oh, there they go. They've just flown across to the other bush over there. It's a shame. I was hoping I'd be able to film them, but they are not coming out. They are skulking deep inside the gorse bush, which is what they do most of the time, to be honest. Sometimes you'll catch them sitting at the top of the gorse bush singing, and I got photographs of them doing that. But it'd be rather good to be able to film them, if only I could. But truth is, I'd probably have to stand around here for quite a long time. It's that bird over there. So busy looking for Dartford Warblers, I almost missed a sand lizard who's just scooted into the undergrowth here. I don't think he's going to come out again while I'm here. Dartford Warbler. So there's a bunch of deer over there in the trees. Usually they're quite tame here. I've actually had deer come up to me here, so I'm guessing that perhaps people that live here feed them or something. I don't know. It's very unusual for a deer to be that tame, but it's actually right here. He came right up to me and I put my hand on him and fussed him. But these, I find these cottages interesting. They're quite, I think they're quite historic because I think they're probably to do with the clay works. Probably clay workers' cottages, I believe. And there's 2 rows either side of the road. Anyway, just got to come out onto the road for a short distance before we go off into the countryside again. So I've taken a little detour off the main route just to pay a visit to something which is interesting and which has a captivating story, I think. And it's this. Just a shack or shed on the edge of the Heath. But there's a story behind this, and I discovered this story probably 6 or 7 years ago. I was walking and I discovered this place, and a couple came out from a nearby cottage and came over and told me about it. And apparently this used to be the home of a German prisoner of war. So he was taken prisoner during World War II. At the end of the war, he decided that he would stay in England, and he lived in this shack for many years. And it is just a 2-room, well, it's not even 2 rooms, it's 1 room really, plus a tiny bedroom area. Potentially a bit dark, but let's see if we can get a look inside. So this is obviously, well, the lounge, I guess. Got a kind of makeshift table. And this, I assume, is a bedroom, I presume. A kind of tiny place to sleep, with its window looking out onto the heathland. So this at one time was home to a German ex-prisoner of war. But there's more to the story. I think I was here probably about 2019, they were telling me about this, and they said also that a few years before that they saw a couple looking around this little shack, and they came over and chatted to them, and the man had a German accent. And apparently he had come here and he was showing his now English wife where he used to live. I think that's a lovely story. It's really overgrown, and it looks like it could be, I don't know if that is asbestos, but it's not been touched, and I'm glad to see, whoops, that it's still here. Overgrown, but still here. I seem to remember they said at the time that they thought there was an old car underneath all this rubble and logs here, but I don't see. Oh, you know what? I think they're right. That looks like a tyre. It is, that's a tyre. That's metal. Can't see anything else of it. Well, if that is the remains of a car under there, it is extremely well rotted and flattened. I can't see anything else apart from a tyre and a metal thing, pipe, which could be the exhaust pipe. Anyway, I'm not going to disturb it, it's nothing to do with me. Where's that fascinating story? A little shack in the middle of nowhere. Well, we're off road again. This is one of those often muddy places here. I don't think I've ever known it free of mud, to be honest. It is lovely walking through here with this lovely green, fresh spring foliage. It's just beautiful. Such a lovely season. A nice little spot as well here. But there's a haven for wildlife if you were to sit here long enough. Beautiful spot. I can't say the water looks beautiful, but the rest of it looks, I mean, for wildlife the water looks beautiful, I think. It's a pair of orange-tipped butterflies. Ah, beautiful. Love the orange-tipped butterfly. one of the nice things I think about this walk is the fact that it's varied. I mean, I said it's a heathland walk, which I suppose it is predominantly, but then you've got areas like this of woodland, and we'll have some more of those on the way back. I still haven't reached Corfe Castle yet, but there's woodlands on the way back as well as the heathland. You can take in some hilltop as well if we were to climb up onto the Purbeck Hills, which is off to the right. You could climb up there and get a view down over Corfe Castle. Yeah, so it's a kind of varied walk, which always makes it interesting, I think. Especially this bit. I mean, I like this bit. I like these old woodlands. They're all kind of ancient, crumbly, waterlogged in places, as we'll see in a minute. So it's all got an air of mystery, I suppose. The fact that it's old, ancient kind of area. Get some bluebells and ramsons, albeit the bluebells aren't very dense. Another lovely pond in here. That was cleaner. I guess a lot of these ponds and dips that we see are part of the clay industry, because this is a big clay mining area, Pervic. So there's a good chance they're old clay pits. I don't know specifically if this is one. A good gnarly tree. So we're cutting across the valley now, and straight ahead of us is the Pervic Ridge. So I've got choices up here. I could in theory climb up onto the ridge and walk along the top a short distance before dropping down to Corfe, or I can simply follow the track that skirts along the bottom of the ridge and come out the same place, more or less. So I'll decide when I get up the top here. That's quite a nice view from here anyway. We're kind of part way up the hill. This is the choice along the bottom track, reasonably flat, can be muddy, or climb up the side. You know what, I think I might climb up the side, get some hilltop views. In fact, I might even be able to stop up there for lunch, because I haven't had lunch and it is gone 2:30, I think. Now, a big problem I've got is that unfortunately, while I was filming just now, I tripped and I just about managed to save myself from falling flat on my face. And these things do happen because you're concentrating on the filming while you're walking and don't notice there's a flipping great root stuck up in front of you, or whatever it was I tripped on. Anyway, I managed to just about stay upright, but it didn't do the ankle a whole lot of good, I have to say. So I probably should have been sensible and taken the lower route, but never mind. I'm going to shut the camera off, because I shall start panting in a minute. That's an amazing view already. You can see Poole Harbour over there. Blue water. I'm still climbing. Well, that was worth a climb for, wasn't it? Walking along here with that view. Rest of the Pervic Hills stretching away into the distance before they reach Ballard Point. And Corfe Castle should appear in a minute. Still down below us. Oh, Swanage Railway is running steam today. I'd better get a good view of that in a minute when we get to the end of this ridge. There he goes. And here we are at Corfe Castle. Well, that's not a bad lunchtime view, is it? Amazing. And a good chance to air my feet and switch my socks around and rest the ankle, of course. Just beautiful. Lunch over. Now we're going to head down off the hills. And I've decided I'm not going to go into the town, which I was originally intending to go into Corfe Castle and get a cup of tea. But I'm not going to, because the car park down there is full, and the overflow car park down here in this field, it's also got loads of cars in it, so I think, being Easter holiday time, Corfe Castle is going to be heaving, so I'm going to dodge by it and get out on the Heath again the other side. It's a very popular sunrise hill, this is. Get the castle, especially if the right conditions. You see so many where this valley is filled with mist, and you get the sunrise and the castle poking its head above the mist. Cloud inversion, so it's very popular. Come here first thing in the morning, you probably find a dozen photographers on this hilltop. We're below the castle now, right beside the railway line. All we want now is for a steam train to come through. Can't hear one, unfortunately. Still not hearing anything, sadly. This is the end of the line for the Swanage Railway, and here is Norden Station. Maybe they've finished for the day, because I don't see any people on the station platform. I'm not sure what time they operate till at this time of the year. Pity. I was hoping I'd get one of the steam trains coming through. Well, I timed it perfectly. Awesome. I'm happy now. Now I can walk on. It's only not going to Wareham. I could get the train back. Well, it's not often you can say I've walked all the way from Wareham to Scotland. But I have, just not north of the border. That's just the name of this area in Purbeck, on the Pervic Heaths. This is Scotland, and this is Scotland Farm, which is a traditional wagon making stroke repairing place. It's an awesome place. Well, that was a quick whistle stop tour because unfortunately he was just closing. He's been open all day, but he's got to dash off early, I think, today. So that's a shame. It was just a very quick whistle stop tour. Usually they have old traditional wagons and things in there that are being restored, and the place looks like it's in a time warp. Even the phone looks like something out of the 1960s. It's a really cool place. I've been to it a few times. Shame we didn't have more time, but never mind. We'll come back again and I'll film it again. So we're on the road again just for a short time, but it's a wonderful road. This is such an awesome road. This is one I cycle along, and when I come out this way on the bike, and it's such a great road to ride. There is a main road obviously which is off to the left, long way over to the left. I can't even hear much traffic, but you don't get much down this road apart from bikes and this car that's just coming. So we're on Middlebere Heath now, next one in the line. And this, I think, might be one of the old tramways. I'm not certain about it, but it's got all the looks of a tramway because it's raised from the heath on either side. Because it's a big clay mining area, there were quite a few kind of tramway lines used to take the clay out of the mines and transport them for onward delivery. And see Corfe Castle over there where we were just now. Yes, we're going to walk a couple of these tramway railway lines. Just a relic of the past. I suppose the industrial side of Purbeck. And it's still current actually. There are still clay works. They haven't all expired and closed down. There are still working clay works at Firs Hill. So they're using pigs on this heath for conservation grazing. It's a cluster of 4 of them. Looks like an oasis in the desert. Except it's a patch of gorse in the middle of the heath. Not sure what that was. I couldn't see it well enough. There's a watering hole as well. Well, we're just coming to the end of Middlebere Heath now. High point of Middlebere is this little humpy hill. And we're about to cross another country lane, across to another tract of heathland. And this lane is called Soldiers Road. Just another lovely country lane, but anything with the name Soldiers Road or whatever is invariably military. I don't know the full story behind this one, but it would have been, I assume, either built by the military or used by the military, possibly during the war or for training. I would assume they probably used a lot of these heathlands for training. And this is just a little memorial. It's actually to commemorate the opening of the Stowborough Heath National Nature Reserve in 1985. So we've left Middlebeer behind and we're about to cross into Stowborough Heath. And you can still see Corfe Castle in the distance. Right. They're on another tramway. So this one is Pikes Brothers Tramway. The Pike family were clay quarriers for many generations, and the Pike brothers quarried at Dorset at Purbeck in the Heathland, and originally the clay would have been carried by horse and cart down to the river Frome, which is straight ahead of us, a mile or so, for onward shipment. They then installed a tramway which was gravity driven, so they would load the wagons up and they would just run downhill right the way through to Ridge Wharf on the River Frome, where they would be offloaded onto ships or barges, I guess, and then the wagons would be pulled back up using horses. Then, with the coming of steam railways, that was replaced by a tramway system pulled by a steam train, and that used to operate along this line. And one of those engines that used to operate this line is still local. It's actually part of the Swanage Railway setup. I don't know if it still works. I'm not sure. Anyway, so then this was steam operated, but they say there was one train a day that was still gravity fed, and apparently that was the last one of the day, when all the workers piled into one wagon and they rode the line down the slope all the way to Ridge Wharf to get home. So that's the story of the Pike brothers clay mining and their tramway, which is what I am currently walking. So we're going to follow this all the way to Ridge, and might take a little detour at Ridge because there was an engine shed there where all the little engines would be stored. So I'm interested to look to see what's happened to that. When I was here last, I think it was on the market and there was an offer on it. So I don't know what they would do with it, but I'm interested to have a look. So we'll take a little detour in a minute when we get down to Ridge. But this kind of skirts down the middle of the heathland. We've got heathland on both sides, and we're on a little causeway, and it's a beautiful evening. Wow, nice to know the engine shed is still here, intact. In fact, nothing's happened to it, I don't think. But it was many years ago when I thought it was on the market and had sold. Still got the original doors over the front. So that's where the little engines used to be stored. Ah, I'm so pleased that it's still here and not been pulled down or whatever. Oh, it's very cool. So the railway would have continued. I don't know if that's the line of the railway, but it would have gone down to Ridge Wharf, which is down the bottom. So we're on the road again now, just the last stretch before we get to the river. I think I must talk too much in my videos because when I get to the end I find my voice is quite hoarse. I don't know why. And here we are back at the River Frome. calm and peaceful scene. Well, we're getting near the end of the walk now. We're already on the riverside path. River Froome is behind me. So I've just got to walk another half a mile or so down the river path to come out at Wareham Quay again, which is where we started from this morning. So I'm going to sign the video off at this point. It's been a fantastic day again. Perfect weather again, isn't it? Absolutely not a cloud hardly all day. So it's been absolutely brilliant. And I've done all I wanted to do. Yeah, okay, I had a nasty trip in the middle, which could have brought it to an early end, but fortunately didn't. So it's been amazing. Such great scenery, great light, interesting stuff to see on the way round as well. So thanks so much for coming with me. I hope you enjoyed it and found it interesting. I've absolutely loved it, as always. But for now, this is me, the Dorset Rambler, saying, until next time.